What's up, guys? It's Joe. Welcome back to another video, and I'm going to get it out of the way right now. Just going to jump right into it. If you saw the thumbnail, which I assume you did considering you clicked on the video, you know it's going to be a different video than usual. Usually we'll talk about the basketball transfer portal, or we'll talk about some things on the football field. Today we're talking mascots, Big 12 mascots specifically. And I'm going to get it out of the way. I didn't expect to make this video until about 3 or 4 o'clock when I came across a list ranking the 16 mascots in the Big 12 from 1 to 16, following the addition of the 4 Pac-12 schools that recently joined, and I saw a ton of Willie the Wildcat hate that I will not stand for. So I decided in today's video, I'm going to take that list and make it my own. I'm going to give you 1 through 16, who's the best mascot, who's the worst mascot, and why in this video, and I'm going to defend my guy, Willie the Wildcat. I will give you my reasons for Willie, but first, let me tell you what this list said 1 through 16. Number 1, Cosmo Cougar, BYU. I'll give you my thoughts on all this as to where I feel about all these, what are good picks, what are bad picks, once we have my list, because I don't want to spoil it right now. So I'll give you their list, and we'll jump into me. Cosmo at 1. UCF's Nitro at 2, which also didn't fully know that was his name until today. That is pretty sick. Sparky from Arizona State at 3. Utah's Swoop at 4. Kansas's Big J at 5. Colorado's Chip at 6. Then you got Super Frog, Cy the Cardinal, and then Wilbur and Wilma from Arizona in the next 3 spots. Followed by Red Raider, Bruiser and Marigold, and then Pistol Pete, and the final 4 being these. Shasta and Sasha from Houston, West Virginia's Mountaineer, Cincinnati's Bearcat, and Willie the Wildcat coming in 16th place. 16 of 16 mascots in the Big 12. That is horrible. I'll tell you that right now. My list is not like that, and I'm going to tell you why. Right now, jumping in on top of things, my number 1 pick is Willie the frickin' Wildcat, Big Will, and I will tell you why. I'll tell you why. The immediate pushback, or kind of like response to why people don't like Willie. A lot of people hate the fact that he's not a full cat. He's just got the head of a cat and the body of a jack dude. Let me tell you right now, I absolutely love that about Will. Everybody does. Willie the Wildcat is jacked. And I know that people hate that and say, well, he looks like a man cat or a humanoid, whatever. That's lame. That is so lame. And let me tell you why. Every single mascot on this list, 1 through 16, there could be some surprises. They have the full bodysuit. That's their mascot. It's not their personal choice. It's not the case. Willie the Wildcat is a staple. He's a jack dude. He looks like a football player considering he's wearing the football jersey. He looks like a basketball player considering the same. Willie could knock out every single other mascot on this list. And if you want to deny that, give me specific reasons as to why. Have you seen Willie? Have you seen Big Will? That's a big dude every single time. You can't have a small Willie or a scrawny Willie. There's a reason he's jacked too. You had to have Willie go tackle the opposing mascot or someone they dressed up to be the opposing team's mascot or wear a hat from the other team. Willie is decking dudes. They had to stop because he gave somebody a concussion. Which also, want to sound sensitive about that, I apologize. But also, Willie, keep your head on a swivel if Willie's coming. That's what you got to say. The other thing, there are so many representations of Willie across K-State sports, and every single one of them is incredible. The immediate go-to is the Power Cat. It's not specifically immediately Willie. It's the Power Cat. It's a staple of K-State. But look at this. You got Flag Willie right here. 10 out of 10. A lot of people love Flag Willie. Full cat, if you can see. Not the man cat thing that people criticize Willie about. Next thing, you've got Cocaine Willie. You've got front-facing Cocaine Willie, whose name I don't fully know if it's still Cocaine Willie. I apologize. Every single variant of Willie the Wildcat looks incredible on jerseys, on merch, on whatever you want to say. And people want to criticize Willie and say, you know what? We got to put him in a full cat suit. I would be so upset if they stripped Willie of that. If they just refined him to the, Victory Tiger of the world, like the, put him in the Swoop costume or something like that, where it's just like a full bodysuit. Like, I don't want that. I want our guy to stand out. He's unique. There's other Wildcats in college football. Willie stands out. He's the one you think of. Willie's the guy, man. I know you can say, like, is he entertaining? Is he this? Is he that? The people that disagree with Willie the Wildcat and say, ooh, he looks weird, whatever. You can have that personal preference. That's fine. But I will say this. If you really immediately think, okay, Willie's gross, we hate Willie, we don't want Willie, go to a K-State football game. You don't even have to be a K-State fan. Watch the work this man puts in. He's built like that for a reason. They show off the man's triceps and biceps for a reason. Willie's that dude. He shows up to every coach's wedding in a tuxedo. I'll put a picture up somewhere here. How many mascots on this list can you customize to the point where it's that? Not just, okay, we're coming out with a basketball jersey. Tonight we're doing a football jersey. Tuxedo Willie. There's a ton of different variants of Willie that drop every week, it feels like. The Willie the Wildcat disrespect needs to stop. Think about it. Who is always there when you need somebody to grind out 20 push-ups real quick? Willie. Who is always there when you need someone to throw up a quick go Cats? Willie. Who is always there when you need to toss up the big KSU Wildcats at the football games? William, Big Will. He's always there for us. And I'll say talk to him. At Big 12 Media Days, they bring all the mascots for each team and then 2 cheerleaders. And I was sitting at a couch next to Willie the man. And he doesn't talk. I mean, none of these mascots talk. It's not a surprise, but like, you won't ever catch him off guard. You won't ever catch him to it's like, yeah, what's up, man? Just wearing the, whatever. Willie is Willie. He's a real dude. Like, he doesn't talk at all. And talking to the guy, like, we all saw the viral video of the BYU Cougar dancing with the, I think, Oklahoma State cheerleader. I could be mixing that girl up right now. Right before that happened, like 2 minutes before that happened, that same cheerleader asked us at the couches, hey, do any of the mascots know the fake ID dance? And Willie looks and he just kind of shakes his head no. And I was like, Willie, you know this. We've all been to Dirty Dogs. Willie, I know you do this. And he goes, well, doesn't say anything. Still shakes his head no. And I was like, Willie, you know how to boot scoot boogie. At least you got to know how to line dance. And Willie's sitting there next to me. I start listing off line dances. Boot scoot boogie, got it. Copperhead Road, got it. Any Man of Mine, got it. I mean, there's songs that I'm listening to. Willie's hitting every single one of them. Ain't here for a long time. I forget what the full thing, I'm here for a good time, whatever the case is. There's a ton of different songs. I mean, Willie knows the watermelon crawl. This is a multifaceted mascot, and the disrespect needs to stop. I don't know if I made the case completely clear, but I do want to make my list here so I'm not just ranting about my boy Big Will for about 30 minutes. I go on and on forever. I will cap it off with this. People love the Stanford tree because he looks weird, but he is unique. We don't love Willie just because he's unique. Willie exemplifies K-State athletics. You look at Willie and you think about K-State. You think about, 9-3 seasons. You think about being at the Bill. You think about the late nights, all these great games. And you think about 5 dudes lifting the man up on plywood while Willie pumps out push-ups. You don't see that with every other mascot. That's just my justification. I mean, this dude is an absolute representative of the university, whereas some of these mascots are just thrown out there. You're just tossing someone out there to be there. Some guy in an eagle suit, some guy in a chicken wing costume, some guy in a bear suit. Like, there's a difference between Willie and the next mascot. If you've been to a K-State football game or basketball game, you know how important Willie is to the fans, to the students, to the environment. I don't see that consistently across every single mascot. Some of them are kind of just there as like, oh, hey, there's, big guy. Hey, there's Freddie, just walking around. Willie exemplifies what it means to be a K-State Wildcat, considering he is one. However, this is my list. I took most of my personal bias out of this except for Willie, and I know that there's an argument to be made for that. 2 through 16, I just have my own personal preference. It's not necessarily a bias of this guy sucks or this school sucks, he's not here. So I wanted to give you my list, starting with Willie at 1. That's the way I'm going to go with that. Willie is big dog. He's number 1. Number 2, this should probably come as no shock to people. It could. Cosmo Cougar. I mean, that's the dude. If you've seen him on every single social media, you've seen what the guy does. He's breakdancing, he's jumping tables, he's doing standing backflips with the dance team, jumping out of literal airplanes landing on the field. Cosmo's commitment puts him above everybody else. That dude is all in. I watched the guy try to backflip off of the Big 12 Media Day stage at Dallas Cowboys Stadium. It was like a 10-foot jump, basically from the stage to the ground, and he absolutely messed it up and basically falls off the stage and then hops right back up and he's ready to go. The commitment, I was like, I'm not seeing any other mascot try to do a double backflip off a stage. And, maybe you want to say it's ignorance or just doing whatever for the sake of it. Like, this man goes for the role. Cosmo is that dude. Cosmo's number 2. Number 3, Nitro. Absolutely love Nitro. The mascot looks great. He's appealing. The best thing I saw about him, they can customize this dude so much. And what gives UCF the edge over a lot of different schools' mascots, the space theme surrounding them, Space U, whatever you want to call it, that is a huge jump for UCF. The first part of Media Days, they had Nitro walk out, and he's got, he's got a big sword and the armor and the knight helmet. Like, Knights in general have just always been cool to me. I think Nitro speaks for himself. He's got a cool name, represents the university well. The second part of the event, he goes away, comes back about 20 minutes later. Comes back, and the knight armor is like galaxy colorway. He's got a flowing cape that's all galaxy stuff. The sword is glowing and doing all this cool stuff. They are committed to Nitro. Nitro deserves a top 3 spot. Number 4, and I'm going to pick it up a little bit so I can go a little bit faster. People will dislike me for this one, but it's Big J. You cannot dispute the colorway. Red and blue is not an easy thing to pull off at most universities. Big J does that consistently. The jerseys are sweet. The outfits are sweet. Big J makes sense to me. As a mascot, he makes sense. That's what I love about Big J. Obviously represents Kansas basketball. It's huge, but the guy all around is just a good mascot to have. You'd be satisfied having Big J as your mascot, whether you're 1 through 16. I think everybody on this list would be like, yeah, okay, that's a good mascot. I don't like the whole baby. I mean, Baby J deserves some love too, but like when they try to pass off two equal mascots, you'll see on this list, I don't love the marriages between two, or like the two mascots at once. That doesn't feel the same to me. So I just didn't really include Baby J in that category. It didn't feel that same, at least on the same level as Big J immediately. But that's that. Number 5 is Super Frog. Super Frog is just a cool dude. You can see the definition on every part of this man's suit with the biceps, triceps, his frog horns or whatever's happening. He's just a cool looking dude. I think that the TCU students have a really good mascot to cheer for. I kind of hate the horns thing. Obviously we have the cats thing, so I'm sure they hate that to an extent too. But I think Super Frog is a cool guy. That's what I'm going to stay on that. Number 6, and this is one that I was blown away with that he was so low on the list. Red Raider, Texas Tech. I mean, come on. It's all West Texas to an extent. This is a great mascot. Maybe I'm biased towards redheads. That's my guy, He's a sweet-looking mascot. He's got a cool gun. At media days, he was spinning it around doing the old Wild West thing. He just looked cool all around. I think he's a good representative of Texas Tech as well. Number 7, Sparky, ASU. I think this is my first of the Pac-12 schools, and I'll look through this here in a second. I could be completely wrong and already forgetting that. Sparky is just unique. He's just a unique guy. Looks different. Sun Devil. Has the trident. I always have liked the trident. There's something about that school that's just likable, and I think Sparky fits that role. Number 8, and people will hate this for being this low, but I'm rolling with it. Cy the Cardinal. And I know that people are going to immediately hate me for saying that, but he doesn't stand out to the point where I'm like, this is a top-tier mascot. But he's also not bad where it's like, this is a bottom-tier mascot. He is kind of the make and model of consistency. He's appealing to look at, but not like, oh my gosh, you got to check out this mascot. That's how I feel about Iowa State's mascot. I actually really like him. I think he's a good mascot representative for Iowa State. He kind of fits like the just above the average spot that most of Iowa State's teams have fell in the last couple of years. That's not a shot at anybody. Iowa State's been kind of in that just above the middle spot in basketball and football the last couple of years. Obviously, last year was bad in the Big 12 for football, but that's where I feel about Cy. Number 9 is Pistol Pete. Pistol Pete's a little interesting. You can kind of shape him to be higher up for personal nostalgia reasons, or you can push him down lower on the list. I think he looks cool, but he's a solid 9 spot in my mind. Which, that's close enough to the middle. I mean, 8 is the halfway mark. He's on the lower half of the list, but he is the top part of that lower half. I think there's so many Petes out there. You think of Pistol Pete, you think of Purdue Pete, all the guys that are like Purdue Pete, Pistol Pete, Providence. Obviously, that's the Friars, I think. I don't know if that's 100% right. They all kind of fit that same make and model. It's not the most original I've seen, so I'm not going to boost Pistol Pete up much higher. Number 10 is Chip from Colorado. Honestly, I just haven't had much interaction with Chip. I know that this could be maybe my downfall in terms of Colorado's fans' eyes, so I apologize. Chip's a cool-looking mascot. He feels like a good time, a good environment. I don't know how committed he is to the team. I don't know how integrated he is on Saturdays or in basketball games, just because, Colorado hasn't done much in athletics in the couple major horseman sports last couple years, so Chip just hasn't been in my eyes as much. Number 11 is Swoop from Utah. And maybe Utah fans have driven Swoop down a little bit in my eyes, but there's 1,000 different Swoops. There's 1,000 different big birds. You know what I mean? Not Big Bird specifically. That'd be a sick mascot if you could get away with that licensing. I just don't like the Philadelphia Eagles have Swoop, and that is the immediate Swoop my mind thinks of. So when you're immediately the second mascot someone thinks of, it's kind of just a setback. Once again, just a big guy in kind of an eagle costume, or bird costume to say the least. Plus, it feels like Utah could have something cooler than Swoop. I don't know if that's true or not. Maybe Swoop's been a big part of Utah for a long time, but it doesn't feel that way. Number 12 is Bearcat. People would push to have Bearcat lower on this list, but I thought he was pretty cool. Also, the guy they brought to media days was 7'8", not even playing. Well, okay, playing. The guy was above 6'5", 6'6", easy. He almost ran me over. I almost died. Death by Bearcat was not the way to go out in my mind, but he looks cool. I think he's had some good viral moments. Obviously, there was the time where he wore Lee Corso's head, and then Lee Corso wore his head. That was cool. Number 13, this is my justification. This fan base is going to hate me. The Mountaineer. It's just the dude. It's just the dude. And people will say, well, you said Willie's cool because he's part dude. Or whatever. That's not really the case. I mean, this is just a guy from the fan base, grows a beard. I almost considered putting him down lower. However, my justification on this is he does a great job of getting the fans into it at Morgantown. So it's not like he's not doing his job. It's just needs a cooler name. I mean, he's just a regular dude. You can't ask him to be more jacked or a bigger beard or whatever. They kind of just all blur into that old trapper mindset a little bit. Because we saw the old trapper guy at Big 12 Media Day standing next to the Mountaineer. And it was kind of a spinning image of one another. Moving on to the next one, number 14. And you'll see this for the last 3 spots. The combo mascots are not it. When you have a husband and wife, or you have, whatever the case, I don't know all these relationships between the mascots, so I apologize if it's a brother-sister thing, if it's a, whatever, friend thing, Mickey Mouse, Minnie Mouse type thing, whatever. Wilbur and Wilma are at 14, and the only reason is because I kind of like Wilbur's hat better than the rest of the outfits for the other ones. That's from Arizona. 15 is Bruiser and Marigold. I didn't know their names until today, so that's completely, to be completely honest, it's on me, but they don't stand out that much in my mind, so that's on me. 16 is Shasta and Sasha. I mean, that's named after a soda brand. Not that that's important. Obviously, it's named after a cougar, apparently, back in the day. I just haven't ever really seen either of the two. I think I saw Sasha at Media Days, but I'm not super familiar. And I kind of think the whole 2 mascot thing's a little lame. That's just my own personal bias. So, if you're really into the 2 mascot thing, that can definitely jump up on your list. But that's where I'm at on this list. Sorry, this is kind of a sporadic, random video, but I felt like talking about it. I'd love to hear some of your guys' top 5. I mean, if you want to list the whole 16 in the comments, you can. Let me know your top 5. I think it's cool to hear the unbiased, like, once you get past the number 1, everyone chooses their number 1 school as their number 1, and then they go from there. So I'd love to hear your top 5 list if you want to comment that below. If you haven't already entered the giveaway, the top link in the description for a lavender quarter zip, a K-State lavender quarter zip, it's a Google form. All you got to do is put your name, email, and shirt size into that, and I'll have you entered. That officially closes, I believe, on Friday, so go ahead and make sure you're in. But guys, I hope you have a wonderful rest of the day. And before I get out of here, if you're a Willie hater, stop disrespecting the man, okay? Give him his flowers. Let the Willie truthers, the Willie enjoyers, be enjoyers. Let us love the man. He's a great mascot to have, and I'm sure yours is too in your own way, so I appreciate you guys watching. For those of you that do love Willie, you know what's up, and you know ball. That is an official decree from me. I hope you have a wonderful rest of the day, and go Cats.